Welcome back to WION World is One. You're watching Speed News with me, Vidur Kathuria. Let's get started. A senior Iranian official and political advisor to Supreme Leader Khomeini, Admiral Ali Shamkhani, has said that Iran has no intention of transferring its stockpiles of enriched uranium abroad. Shamkhani also said Tehran will not remove its stored nuclear materials but is open to reducing enrichment from 60% to 20%. This comes at the backdrop of the talks expected to be held by US and Iranian officials on February 6th. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has warned that big US warships were heading to Iran and threatened consequences if no nuclear deal is reached. Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, has met the new head of the US diplomatic mission in the South American country, Laura Dogu. This comes less than a month after the US toppled Nicolas Maduro. Venezuela's communication minister says the meeting between Rodriguez and the US diplomat that took place at the presidential palace is part of the working agenda between Venezuela and the United States. The two countries have reached a deal to export up to $2 billion worth of Venezuelan crude to the US last week. Rodriguez announced a proposed amnesty law for hundreds of prisoners in the country, a move long demanded by opposition and human rights groups. US President Donald Trump announced a trade deal with India that slashes US tariffs on Indian goods to 18% from 50%. This is an exchange for India halting Russian oil purchases and lowering trade barriers. Trump announced the deal on social media following a call with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He claimed that India would now buy oil from the US at potentially Venezuela. The US president also claimed that PM Modi committed to buy more than $500 billion worth of US energy technology, agricultural, and other products. PM Modi has thanked Trump after the announcement of tariff reduction. NDA MPs felicitated Prime Minister Narendra Modi at parliamentary party meeting after India and US agreed to a trade deal wherein US has announced reducing tariffs to 18%. Chants echoed in parliament praising the Prime Minister for his leadership. PM Modi is expected to speak to the MPs during the meeting and likely to discuss several political and governance-related issues. Russian forces have launched a mass overnight attack targeting major Ukrainian cities including Kyiv and Kharkiv. At least 2 people were injured in the drone and missile attack that also damaged multiple buildings. This comes as US President Donald Trump had indicated he may soon have positive news on efforts to end the Ukraine war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also claimed that Russia has largely observed a ceasefire on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, although frontline areas have been hit. US President Donald Trump said that Mexico would stop sending oil to Cuba. Cuba and the US are reportedly in talks, although the exchanges have not yet evolved into a formal dialogue. Trump said the US had begun talks with the highest people in Cuba days after declaring it to be an unusual and extraordinary threat to US national security and threatening tariffs on any nation that sends oil to the communist-run island. Cuba had previously denied any talks with the US. As the US House of Representatives takes up legislation that would end a partial government shutdown with a final vote, experts suggest it would be in the Republicans' best interest to work with Democrats on new restrictions on federal immigration agents. This as they claim Republicans were losing the public over aggressive ICE tactics. The fatal shooting of 37-year-old Rennie Good in Minneapolis on 7th January sparked protests across the US and increased scrutiny of the ICE agency. It has made thousands of arrests since Trump returned to the White House, often in public places, leading to a number of clashes with protesters. Former US President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify before the House Oversight Committee as part of its investigation into convicted late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. This comes days before a vote on whether to hold the couple in criminal contempt for refusing to appear before the House after months-long standoff. Clinton was acquainted with Epstein, who died in prison in 2019, but he has denied knowledge of his sex offenses and says he cut off contact 2 decades ago. Gazans have begun crossing into Egypt for treatment after Israel partially reopened Rafah border crossing. Egyptian officials say around 150 people were due to leave the territory and 50 supposed to enter it. More than 20 months after Israeli forces have been fighting in Gaza, closed the crossing. The border crossing with Egypt is Gaza's only gateway to the outside world that does not lead to Israel and is a key access point for both people and goods. Libyan Army Commander Khalifa Haftar has met with Pakistan's military chief Asim Munir in Rawalpindi to discuss military ties. Haftar said that him and Munir exchanged views on matters of mutual interest with particular focus on security dynamics in respective regions and professional cooperation. Meanwhile, the Pakistan Army chief reaffirmed the country's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties. This comes after Munir visited Libya in December, one which is reportedly linked to a $4 billion arms deal which seeks to enhance defense ties. A major tragedy was averted in Pakistan's Karachi, where a fire that erupted at a commercial building was quickly extinguished. According to Karachi Deputy Mayor Salman Murad, the fire erupted at a building near the mobile phone market in Sadr Business District, fairly close to the site where a deadly blaze killed dozens of people last month. Police have said the fire started from one car on the building's 7th floor parking level and spread to 2 other vehicles, which was eventually brought under control. However, the cause of the fire is yet to be determined. France has finally passed its budget for 2026 after months of political wrangling and attempts to topple government. Lawmakers rejected 2 no-confidence motions on Monday, clearing the way for Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu's government to pass the bill without a parliamentary vote. The budget includes measures to bring France's deficit to 5%, and it also boosts military spending by $7.7 billion. France has been mired in political turmoil since President Emmanuel Macron called a snap election in 2024 and lost his parliamentary majority. Taiwan's military is reportedly planning to build a submarine rescue vessel. This is after the completion of its first domestic submarine prototype. According to a Defense Ministry report released last week, the project to build the submarine rescue ship will be implemented over a 7-year period, from 2027 to 2033, at a cost of over $400 million. The funds will be allocated by the Navy to build a vessel that will boost its submarine rescue capability. The Navy is also reportedly planning to build a second fast combat support ship. Costa Rica's President-elect Laura Fernandez pledged to leave a government of national unity and continue the populist policies of outgoing President Rodrigo Chavez. Fernandez had offered a senior cabinet position to Chavez starting in May. Fernandez, a 39-year-old political scientist, won Sunday's election with 48% of the vote and a legislative majority. She called for political rivals to set aside campaign divisions and focus on national progress while promising a profound and irreversible change in a new constitutional era. She also emphasized her commitment to vulnerable groups and maintaining economic stability. Thailand is all set to hold a general election on February 8th, one that will determine the country's next government. Pheu Thai, the Liberal People's Party, and the Boom Jay Thai Party will contest the elections. Meanwhile, the Progressive People's Party has extended its lead in the opinion polls. However, it remains to be seen whether it can win enough seats to form Thailand's next government. At least 16 people have been found dead outdoors due to prolonged freezing in New York City. The freezing temperatures follow last week's winter storm. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has said preliminary findings have indicated hypothermia to be the cause behind at least 13 of these cases. Firefighters in Argentina's Chubut province battled relentlessly to contain wildfires that have scorched an estimated 50,000 hectares. Rescue crews hoped for lighter rain and cooler temperatures to ease their struggle. The blazes, fueled by strong winds over the weekend, forced the temporary closure of 2 provincial roads, overwhelming firefighters who were often forced to retreat for safety. Patagonia forest fires have destroyed an area more than twice the size of Buenos Aires. This has stirred criticism over austerity measures under President Javier Milei that have significantly cut aid resources. At least 30 people have died from unusually heavy snow in Japan over the past 2 weeks. The government has deployed troops to help residents in the heaviest hit region, where as much as 4.5 meters of snow remains on the ground in remote areas. A powerful cold air mass has resulted in snow cover along the Sea of Japan in recent weeks, with some areas seeing more than double the usual volume. Prime Minister Sane Takaichi held a special cabinet-level meeting to instruct ministers to do all they can to prevent deaths and accidents. Asian markets climbed, led by a powerful rally in South Korea, where the Kospi jumped over 5% and triggered a buy-side trading halt after gains in index futures surged past thresholds as confidence grew on a US-India trade agreement. Japan's Nikkei and Topix also rose sharply, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng and China's CSI 300 moved higher, and Australia's ASX 200 climbed amid expectations of central bank action. The strong sentiment followed news that US President Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi agreed to cut tariffs and expand trade, boosting risk appetite and stock markets across the region. US equities were also higher overnight, helping lift Asian sentiment. Gold prices surged more than 3% on Tuesday, rebounding from a near one-month low as investors brace for a lack of US economic data during a partial government shutdown. Spot gold jumped to about $4,837 an ounce. The Labor Department confirmed the January jobs report will be delayed, adding uncertainty to markets. Expectations of Fed rate cuts in 2026 has supported bullion. Elsewhere, silver, platinum and palladium also posted strong gains, extending a broad rally across precious metals. Oil prices held mostly steady as markets weighed signs of a possible de-escalation in US-Iran tensions against a firmer US dollar. Brent crude was little changed, around $66.36 a barrel. Prices fell sharply on Monday after President Trump said Iran was seriously talking with Washington, easing geopolitical risk and prompting profit-taking. Traders are also watching expected nuclear talks in Turkey later this week. A stronger dollar capped upside, making dollar-priced crude more costly for other buyers. On trade news, the US announced a tariff deal with India tied to reduce Russian oil purchases, and OPEC agreed to keep March output unchanged. The US dollar held on to recent gains on Tuesday, supported by stronger than expected US economic data and shifting expectations around Federal Reserve policy, despite lingering concerns about another government shutdown. The dollar index was little changed after a two-day rise. Gains followed a surprise return to growth in US manufacturing, while easing geopolitical tensions after US trade and diplomatic moves also underpinned sentiment. The Australian dollar advanced ahead of an expected rate hike by the Reserve Bank of Australia, while the yen stayed weak amid election-related uncertainty. The euro and sterling edged higher and cryptocurrencies posted modest gains. A coalition of non-profits have urged the US government to immediately suspend the use of Grok, the AI chatbot developed by Elon Musk's xAI, across federal agencies, including the Department of Defense. The appeal follows a series of controversies involving Grok, including recent reports that users used the chatbot to turn photos of real women and children into sexualized images without consent, which were then shared at scale on X. The group warns that Grok poses serious risks to data security and national security, saying the AI fails to meet federal safety standards for government deployment. Snowflake has entered a $200 million partnership with OpenAI to integrate advanced artificial intelligence models directly into its cloud data platform. The deal will enable AI agents to handle complex workflows, allowing enterprise users to query proprietary data in natural language without writing code, while maintaining strict data security controls. The move comes as enterprises shift from basic AI chatbots to integrated AI systems amid intensifying competition in the data and generative AI market. The developer of Notepad++ has reportedly noted that its software update mechanism was covertly hijacked for several months last year, with evidence suggesting the operation was carried out by a Chinese state-sponsored threat group. Notepad++ is a popular free text and source code editor widely used by developers and programmers worldwide. According to Bleeping Computer, attackers intercepted and selectively redirected update requests, steering certain users towards malicious servers and delivering tampered update information. The breach is believed to have begun in June 2025 and continued until early December. Google Cloud and Liberty Global have signed a 5-year strategic partnership to deploy Google's Gemini AI models and cloud tools across Liberty Global's European operations. Liberty Global, which serves around 80 million fixed and mobile connections across Europe, said the partnership will support new consumer services, including AI-powered search and content discovery on its Horizon TV platform. Along with expanded customer service automation, the deal also covers the rollout of Google products, including Pixel devices and smart home tech, across Liberty Global units in the UK, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. OpenAI has launched a desktop app for its AI coding tool Codex as it steps up competition in the fast-growing AI code generation market. The new Codex app is designed to let users manage multiple AI agents simultaneously over extended periods, while also using code to gather and analyze information. OpenAI says the desktop version is more user-friendly and aims to make advanced coding capabilities accessible to a wider range of users. The move comes as competition intensifies, with rivals like Anthropic gaining strong momentum through its Claude Code tool, which has seen rapid revenue growth. Italian biathlete Rebecca Passler will miss the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics after failing a doping test. The 24-year-old has been provisionally suspended after testing positive for a banned substance 4 days before the start of her winter home games. Italy's anti-doping agency said Passler tested positive for letrozole in an out-of-competition sample. Letrozole can be used in the treatment of breast cancer and can also control the effects of steroid use. She was due to compete in the biathlon starting on Sunday with a mixed team relay. The new Formula One season is just 1 month away, and Mercedes' George Russell has claimed that the UK-based team is now ready to win the world title. The 8-time F1 Constructors Champions caught the eye in last week's first test in Barcelona by boasting both impressive speed and reliability, and Russell believes he has been handed a car capable of winning the World Championship as Mercedes head into a new era of Formula One as title favourites. Her Olympic return remains uncertain. US skier Lindsey Vonn's career is being celebrated in a new comic book. Tidal Wave Comics has added Vonn to their Female Force series that celebrates women who inspire, empower, and break barriers, which will release on February 11th. In 22 pages, Vonn's journey from amateur to Olympian and pop cultural staple is chronicled in the colorful biography.